Welcome to Are We Old? The show featuring two comedians getting nostalgic and tackling life's toughest question, Are we old? Here's your hosts, Mike Finoia and Charles McBee.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Are We Old? I'm Charles McBee.
And I'm Mike Finoia. Hi, bud.
What's going on, man? How we feeling?
Good, dude. Good. How are you? Other than all these people who we grew up watching on our televisions and stuff and just kicking it, dying.
What the hell is going on?
I don't know, dude. This is weird. It's like every day there's like two this past couple of weeks.
Yeah, it's like Rick Chrome, a friend of ours, he posted something. He was like, is God casting a TV show? Like, what is going on right now?
It's a great way of putting it, though.
What is happening? I mean, we got James Earl Jones. We got John Amos.
Dame Maggie Smith.
R.I.P. Yeah.
Harry Potter, dude.
Harry Potter. She was the mama in Titanic. Downton Abbey. Good Lord.
Yeah,
Lord,
man.
Father God. Dikembe Mutombo.
The big man.
No.
The big dude.
Yeah, man. Crazy.
Yeah, a lot of people are kicking it. And James Earl Jones, dude. I mean,
let's start with James Earl Jones, man. Look, James Earl Jones. So James Earl Jones is one of those ones where, like, he was old when we were kids.
Yes.
So it's not so much that you're like, I can't believe, but it is one of those things where he's just been who he is for so long. Like, to our generation, we came up on, this is CNN. Like, that was my introduction to James. I went back later
CNN.
and looked at all his like stuff before then, but my introduction as a kid was like, oh, he's the CNN voice dude.
You CNN voice dude, he's Darth Vader.
Oh, well, yeah, that's when, as I got older, I was like, oh, and then went back and was like, Darth Vader, Field of Dreams, all, like, everything, Fences, Broadway, of course, but
I think Field of Dreams may have been, like, where I first really kind of, like, I was like, God, I love this guy. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't realize, I think it was opposite for me, where, like, I didn't know him as the CNN voice until afterwards, till I paid attention to news.
Yeah.
So I think it was a lot of the, and then when I found out he was Darth Vader, but he did have that, like, his voice was everywhere. And it was that thing of like, wow, the CNN voice guy sounds like Darth Vader. Is Darth Vader the CNN voice?
I mean, it looked like that old Larry King studio did look like the inside of like the Death Star. So it
totally did.
It all made sense. Yeah, man. The Sandlot, like he hit every generation. And of course, I mean, we say even, Lion King is the Lion King. You know what I mean?
And we were already at least, middle school, high school by then?
I feel like Lion King it might have been middle school. It might have been middle. Well, Lion King was 94, I believe.
You're amazing with dates. I don't have a clue. It's all before sex, after sex to me. It was BS.
Hilarious.
BS is when it was.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Man.
Well, John Amos was a guy too that I had the chance to chat with him. I had him on Comes a Time, one of my other podcasts, and he in his later days he started going out to concerts and stuff, and he went to see O'Teal, my co-host, who plays Dead and Company, but also plays in like O'Teal and Friends. It's like a solo endeavor of his, but they looked down in the crowd. There's John Amos in the crowd. It's crazy. And he said he was, this was only a few months ago, but when he shook his hand, he was like a man's handshake, like a tough dude. And what I said to him when I was able to talk to him was like, you were like a dad he's a dad that like you wanted to, like, you go, I wish that guy was my dad. You know what I mean?
Top 5 TV dads. Easily.
Oh, dude. And that's what we're doing today. Top 5 TV dads.
Yeah.
I mean, easily we have to do that. And he would be at the top of that list, 100%.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. but he was tough and scary, but also like in the way that like, he would protect you. Like he'd
Yeah.
teach you how to fight the bullies. He wouldn't go fight the bullies.
Yep. He was one of those ones. And like, look, Good Times came out, before our time, but it was on repeat so much
Constantly.
that I felt like I grew up watching him on Good Times. And like, he was one of those, dads. He kind of reminds me of my dad in a little bit, or like the men in my family, where it's just like, it's that tough, stern. He was going to put his foot in your ass, but at the same time, you knew he was going to provide and he would do anything for his family. Like that, he kind of represented, that last before TV dads. Well, no, there was a few more after him, but he was before TV dads was like your pal. Before it was like, Full House. No disrespect to the great.
Bob Saget,
but it was before that Full House era where where the kids didn't run the house, where the kids didn't parent the parents still parented the kids. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
Like those were the
Jimmy Walker was scared to death of John Amos, basically. Yeah, and
the only thing dynamite was that belt cracking
That's
against his ass.
Yep, and he was, he kept his. If you look into him, man, he's a real, like, the way that he took the direction in the writer's room of like, he was like, no, I'm not going to be this like pushover, whatever, dad. And they killed off his character.
Yeah.
And it's kind of ridiculous that, but like he kept it, he stayed true to what he wanted. And I give him tons of credit for that, because in a time where, he was I don't know, these TV dads, man. I mean, it's interesting, like you're saying. I mean, that was a different time. We were not born then. So for like a dad to take his belt off on TV, like that, dads were watching that show going, you see, you want this? You don't make me take my belt off, Yeah. But but knowing him from like, he was the weatherman on I believe Mary Tyler Moore, wasn't it?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, he played
the weather. Up on game right now.
So he was the weatherman on Mary Tyler Moore. In fact, he's the last member of the crew to pass on. Everyone's now gone from that show. And but then like, I mean, Coming to America.
I mean, we got to get into Coming to. Were you now because Coming to America, let's just put it out there.
Lay it out there.
Coming to America was very pivotal. Is that the word?
Pivotal. You were doing it.
Pivotal for this reason, because for many years, and this still happens, Hollywood would always say that black films don't transfer over, don't cross over. They don't do well out in outside markets. Yeah. They don't do well overseas. There's no such thing as a black crossover star or lead in a movie. And Eddie Murphy came along and just shitted on all of that. And so,
he totally did. With that and with Beverly Hills Cop and with Party All the Time and with, I mean, he's, But no.
With everything. 48 hours, everything.
Everything.
He just came and shitted on everything. Mm-hmm. So, Coming to America is very special to me, one, because it's one of those ones where whenever there's like for a lot of movies with where predominantly black cast or predominantly black theme, it's considered a black film. And even though it's like very prideful for me, it's not like I'm not proud of like black art, but in the scope of it, it's always whenever someone puts black in front of the thing, there's always this invisible asterisk. Like, well, this is like regular movies are regular. And then there's the black movies, right?
Yeah, I mean,
but we're Coming to America. They really couldn't put that stamp on it. It was just like, this is just a comedy.
That's the thing. What I was gonna say is like, I think what transcends, for me at least, I can't speak for anybody else, but for me, humor or funny is always like the first word. You know what I mean? So it's like Monty Python to me was the same as Coming to America, which was the same as Caddyshack, which was the same as Blazing Saddles, which was the same. Like, they're just funny first.
Yeah.
And then it's like, if someone goes like, what's that movie? I don't think I'd ever explain it as like, well, it's a black movie about,
Right.
the king of Zamunda. And I'm like, no, it would be like, oh, it's this hilarious movie with Eddie Murphy. And then I'd explain it. You know what I mean? So I think that like, because Monty Python, I know people who hate British humor. They just can't, they don't get it. They don't like
Yeah.
it. It's too smart. It's too, so they like, but they love Monty Python. Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Like they don't like Benny Hill or they don't like other, So I think it's this thing of like, yeah, that movie transcended. Like I will say to that as a white kid, I didn't necessarily like understand the barber shop other than just it was like hilarious. And it
Yeah.
was like, oh shit, he's playing everyone, Like that to me was the part that like, I didn't understand like the church, like the what do you call it? Like the sexual chocolate and the whole like that thing. Like we didn't have that. We didn't get together like that. You know what I mean? And almost in a way, I had a little bit of like jealousy where I'm like, my life's boring as shit, dude. Like I don't get to do any of this. Anytime you saw Black Church like on a movie or on anything, I'm like,
Blues Brothers, any of that.
yes, dude.
James Brown.
Why is Jesus so boring to us? You know what I mean? So, but I mean, I could see how it would be like I never would have. That's just a universally hilarious movie, and like him and Arsenio Hall, the chemistry that they had in that was just out of this world. And yeah, again, John Amos just being like, and he was also someone who, to me, out of everybody, he was probably the most like, I don't want to say approachable, but like the most like, I was comforted that he was in it. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, that's a believable dad. You know what I mean?
It was such a believable dad in Coming to America. Like, I mean,
James Earl Jones was in that.
Both. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Him and James Earl Jones.
1-2 punch, huh? To that crew.
Coming to America, man.
We quoted it like, dude, like every kid in my school was yelling sexual chocolate and shit though. You know what I mean? Like we were like, it did create like a lexicon.
Yeah,
and I mean, it was like, the barbershop conversation. And do you know that's Cuba Gooding Jr. in the
chair?
That's crazy, dude.
Yep.
I love that fucking movie.
I mean, it was one of those things that's just on repeat when I was a kid. Even before, I grew up on the TV version because I was too young to watch the real version. So I didn't even know how raw it was.
Yeah.
Until I was like a little bit older, and I was like, "Oh shit, there's titties in this movie. What's going on?"
Dude, that's so funny. I'm making a joke about that now on stage about how my dad never had a sex talk with me, but like whenever like his version of a sex talk was he'd grab the TV remote and go, "This is not for you," and change it. And I'm like, no, it's for me. It's not for us. Like, it's weird that we're watching this together. But I'd be taking notes. Like 40 minutes into Airplane, a set of tits runs by, But yeah, when you would see the other version of it, like at your friend's house, and you're like, oh,
like,
ooh,
oh, okay,
no
nice.
shit. Oh,
yeah. One day I'm gonna have some rose bearers too.
Yeah, I remember Die Hard when like she was up on the balcony, and I was like, oh, I watched it at my uncle's house, and I was like, oh shit, wow.
Well, I used to watch when those HBO free weekends would come on because we never had HBO back in the day. But like,
me neither.
When the free weekends would come. And I would just be praying that like a movie would come on and you would see the rated R and then it'd be like language and like nudity or whatever. And whenever it would be like rated, because it would say rated R first, just to give everybody a glimpse into my perverted brain as a kid. It would say rated R first. So you were already like, yes, rated R. And then you would hope that the reasons it was rated R wasn't just for some bullshit reason like language, because
language and violence
or violence. You're like, so it feels like language. It would come on like L language, like fuck. V violence. Oh god. N nude. Touchdown.
N stood for nice.
Nice. And this is before, and this was HBO, so it wasn't no fast forward, and I would sit there patiently.
Oh, with the volume down.
Volume down and wait. And when I could almost pinpoint, I was like, oh, wait a minute. It's nighttime. Wait a minute. We about to see some nip.
Yep. Oh my God, dude. And when you'd see someone, not even just, sometimes you'd see nudity, but when you saw people having sex,
Yeah.
oh, that was a whole other ball game, dude. When you'd see like, it's like some like detective movie, like some shitty, like Night Racer or whatever the hell stupid name. I'm making it up, but it's like,
Shout
that
out to
peel.
Night Eyes. Night
Yeah,
Eyes
Night Eyes,
1,
dude.
Night Eyes 2, and Night Eyes 3. Did I
Night
used to trick
Eyes.
my grandparents into renting those movies? Yes, I did.
And it would be like, wow, wow. Like that like sad LA guitar solo while like a Corvette like drives into the
Right.
sunset. And he puts out the cigar and goes inside, and then you just see this chick with like a aqua netted up, like blonde hair just bouncing on him, and it's like, oh my God. Oh my God, Mom, please don't wake up. Please don't wake up.
Oh, please don't wake up. Please
That
don't
is
wake up.
great. Yeah, we had I had what's it called? For a while I had a scrambler. Now, for those kids of
Yeah, go
the
ahead.
newer gen that may not understand, here's an old guy moment. I'm going to tell you what a scrambler is. A scrambler was a box that you connected your cable into, and it's descrambled all of the
channels.
pay-per-view channels, like the pay channels. So any pay-per-view events, any boxing matches, which was the reason why I wanted it, wink, wink, was to watch fights. Because I was a big Tyson fan as a kid. So I was like, like if I can't pay for fights, this is a thing that'll help us, watch it. So we got that, and it was so funny, dude. Like my parents must have known. I mean, I hope they did, or else how oblivious. But I would just like, oh, I'm going to sleep in the living room. I'm going to make a fort in the living room. I have a perfectly good bedroom, but I'm like, I want to sleep on the rug.
What are you? A husband going having a fight with his spouse? They're like, what's wrong with this kid? He's going to sleep.
What are you, a 12-year-old German Shepherd? You want to go sleep over the vent? So I would go, Ma, I feel like making a fort in the living room, and I would just like put on like Up All Night, and Skinamax had this thing called Emmanuel. Like it was this whole like Emmanuel in space. It was just like this hot chick and like weird like Emmanuel on the moon, and she would just get naked and bang aliens and shit. So those were my favorite. It was incredible, incredible.
The lengths we used to go to
just to see boobs, dude.
The lengths we would go to see boobs. I was never hip to the scramble. I wish I had a friend that had that, because we never had. I never even knew those even existed.
Well, now I'm bringing you into some Italian culture.
There we go.
80s.
I needed some more Italian friends when I was a kid, because I'm sitting there watching the green squiggly lines going, I think that's a nipple.
Homeboy, let me tell you something. I was watching the green squiggly lines too, though, for sure. I mean, the scrambler was like a blip on the radar of my love of titties. You know what I mean? Like when a scrambler broke, you didn't bring it back to Circuit City. It broke. So I don't know who put that thing together, but it wasn't.
Right, there was no warranty.
No, it wasn't. I wasn't calling Magnavox to, fix my scrambler.
There was no Geek Squad in the 90s for you to take your scrambler to.
It was 3 Italian dudes going, buy another scrambler if yours is broken. They go, here's the receipt.
Abafango.
Hey, up your ass, kid. Oh my God. Yeah. So we descrambled quite a bit. And like anybody that had a scrambler, like they'd have the sleepovers for the Tyson fights and the Holyfield fights and all that. And then it would and that was a weird thing. Let me ask you this, since we're getting into boobs and all that. Like, I hear about kids that had sleepovers where their buddies would like porn it up like with their pals and like watch nudity and shit like that together. I was never that kid, and my friends weren't. I mean, once in a blue moon, we'd put on a porn just to like giggle, but it wasn't a thing of like, all that was always very like private to me.
Yeah, I've had friends say, like, I've had people tell me they used to do that with their friends. I think Stefano might have a story or something like that.
Comics, yeah, dude, that's like a whole subculture of comics. Are like, to me, there's friends that watched porn together, and then the rest of us. You know what I mean? Like, I wanted nothing to do with a boner with my buddies.
Yeah, nothing. That was not a bonding time.
No,
at all for me. No. It was like
self-bonding.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, I never. It was frowned upon. I was never doing anything like that coming up. Yeah, but the links that like I remember us going to get to see some boobs back then was pretty phenomenal because there was the HBOs, then there was the like going like I said trying to convince my like grandparents to like rent movies that they had no clue what they were getting me. I'm like, no, it's a kids movie. Uh and then there was like, I mean, you hear stories about, back, like boomers and stuff like that talk about I used to have to find the Playboy buried in the woods or something like that. That was you? You guys had like the
We had a bag.
yeah?
I'll get into it.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it wasn't like so much like we would just steal like a Playboy. It wasn't necessarily like, we had it hidden anywhere. It was just kind of like somebody had one or you stole one from somewhere and then you just shoved it in your closet
Yes.
and in a shoebox somewhere,
Hmm.
and that was it. Or you would snatch a Victoria's Secret or something like that,
Yeah.
and yeah, it was yeah some we were some horny kids, man.
Oh hell yeah! And I mean, it was like the hunt was sometimes just as fun
You
as
had to
the
earn it. You had to
yes,
earn it.
dude. And you had to not get caught with it. And
Hmm.
so we had, and it's interesting to think back now about like how did a plastic grocery store bag full of like hurry up and get rid of this porn, what the hell happened in that guy's life that he was like, I need to launch this into the woods in my backyard or else what? My family's going to fall apart. Like, what kind of
Yeah,
weird conversations that led up to the moment of him ditching porn? Or was it like a kid took his dad's stash and hid it
maybe that was
somewhere? Or,
it.
yeah, for some reason, I always went, there was like a catastrophe that like the guy's just like, shit, my wife's going to catch me. And he just like, whew, you know? But we found a bag, like a plastic grocery bag full of magazines, and it had a deck of cards, a dirty deck of cards from like it looked like this was handed down from like World War I, dude.
Like a
It was like
family
pinup,
heirloom.
like 50s pinup girl,
Mm.
but fully nude. I guarantee this was like probably over in like Korea or Vietnam. Like these were like sent over as a gift to some. I always like to put a nice,
Right.
beautiful, origin story behind
Nice little
porn.
story on it.
Yeah.
Nice little
So
Mr. Miyagi origin
yeah,
story.
yeah. So this thing made it over, and it was like the nine of diamonds had just like a girl riding a missile or whatever the hell,
Right.
and but they were glammed up a little bit. They were like kind of like airbrushed and like pinup model looking Marilyn
Yeah.
Monroe type shit, and that was wild because it's like when you're a kid and you see this for the first time, you're like, oh my God, I love this. And your brain explodes and you're like, I don't even know. I'm not the person I just was 8 seconds ago. Like the first time you have it in your hands and you're like, oh, wait, this is a thing. What?
Yeah.
Hulk who? The ultimate what? GI, huh? I don't care anymore. Give me a pack of cigarettes and a black coffee. I'm a man now.
Where is his hair coming from?
Where is this hair? Where is this hair going?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just get it's like a hairy chest and a bald head when I'm like 9.
Yeah.
But it became it was a thing, and we would get ones that like there were stores like grocery stores or convenience stores that would sell like 3 packs of the magazines,
Mm-hmm.
and there were 3 different crummy, like 2 good ones and then one that like should not be legal,
Yeah.
and it was in like a sleeve, like a colored sleeve, so you couldn't see what it was, and we would put that like in Sports Illustrated and go
Of
buy the
course.
Sports Illustrated and then take it and share it and keep it in like a someone's like envelope or like a folder thing like under a shed. The things we would do, and we would just like I'd go to bed dreaming about, oh, I should get it, like go run away now and go to the shed. And it's
Dude.
like, now, dude,
Can
now.
you dude, today, where is this thing? Today, I mean, a phone. It's
This
just
is it. Here's your shed. Here's your bag in the woods.
There's a shed right here.
Yeah.
Insane. Can you honestly? Could you
No.
imagine having this much access to God knows what?
No.
At
No.
time?
Can I? Okay. Confession. Here's a confession. And this is the randiest episode of Are We Old Yet? But we're keeping it, clean, I think. I had a porn that was a Playboy, and it was Carmen Electra and Shauna Sand. Really great, whatever, volume or whatever. A buddy of mine had a Jeep Wrangler with no top. So we had a CB radio, and we would like talk into it and go like pull over or whatever and just be idiots, right? So I got a CD. Remember I told you I worked at that music store?
Yeah.
I stole a CD of like 300 sound effects, and we would play it in the car, you know what I mean? And like we'd play sirens and people would get out of our way, and we were just being clowns. But one of the tracks on the CD was a girl moaning. So
Amazing.
I brought it home and I played it on repeat while I had my headphones on, and that's how I had to. So I like had to create that was my first porn movie. Like that was I made it, and I opened the window so like the wind would like move the page. So like I had to create other dimensions of
Bro.
I was directing a scene, dude. It was crazy. I was using the wind. I was using the like.
Bro, that might be the most incredible story I've ever fucking heard. The length of imagination and ingenuity it took for us to even discover
Everything was
realm.
yes, and I was like, it was like that was my first recipe. You know what I mean? It was like, I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna open the window. I'm like, oh, it's a little breezy today. Might be a nice time to hang out with old Carmen Electra. And I'd put on my headphones, and I had it timed to like four and like four repeats. Basically, it took me from start to finish or whatever. You know what I mean? And it was just, God, man, it was just so funny. I look back on that now.
All right, I give you a confession.
I was an audiophile.
You an audio file.
Oh, you got a matching confession? Sweet.
I got a matching confession.
That's why I love this.
So back in the day, I don't know if they're still around, but they aren't in my town anymore. It was a video store, Family Video. And if they are still around and they contact me about this, this is all made up. I'm making this all up. This is all fabricated, just in case. So first of all, Family Video had a section in the back of it. There was a back wall that you had to sneak back into that had all porno, right? Just a shrine of pornography. Mind you, let's not skip over the irony that this company is called Family Video.
I'm with you.
So, and Blockbuster was on its way out, if not already out by this time. So I was going to Family Video, right? And finding my way back into this shrine of pornography, right? Now, here's what made it so difficult, because this is a proper video store.
Right. Yeah.
So
this is not a chain. This is like a mom and pop. Yeah,
well,
we had Best Video.
It seemed like it is a chain, but I'm saying like there's like people in there looking to rent Mrs. Doubtfire.
Gotcha.
While I'm trying to sneak into the back area that's like closed off so I can get to this shrine of pornography. Right?
Gotcha.
So now sneaking in was one thing, because you could scope out the place. I would go like early in the morning or something like that. Scope out the place, right? And this is whenever I was old enough to, so this might have been like, I don't know, 17, something like that, or like allowing me 16, 17.
Yeah.
Sad, but I don't care.
No, it's great.
I get in there, and once you're in there, it's fine. You scope out the place, not that many people in here. Okay, cool. So now I'm back in there, and getting whatever you want. But now you got to get out. Mm-hmm. And you hear more people coming in. You hear like the ding on the door, ding dong or whatever. So more people are in. You don't know who the fuck is in this place.
Could be your mom.
And you don't know. You could turn the corner coming out of this shrine and hit like Father Thomas or whoever. You know what I mean? Your third grade teacher.
And he's like, yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, he's on his way in, actually.
He's like, save me some.
So now you pick out what you want or whatever. Now I'm listening to see if I recognize any voices, to see if I could hear how many people are out there, to see the distance of the voice. Okay, they're on the other side of the store, so I can probably sneak out. And eventually, when I felt like the coast was clear and I just had a fucking moment, I would literally just stop, drop, and roll into the main store and do like a ninja, like almost like I'm a secret agent.
Oh my God, really?
Like, and then try and duck behind one of the cases or something like that, just so like nobody, and then peek and see who would see me. And so now I got these. So now you got to do the whole, I got what I want. Now let me go sandwich it in with a bunch of shit that I don't care about. So I'm getting
like 3 Men and a Baby and Short
3 Men
Circuit.
and a Baby.
Yeah.
The whole nine, right? So finally you make it up to the counter. Now you're hoping no one else either comes in that you know, or no one comes behind you in a line.
Yeah.
Because if there was a line, you had to wait. I'm waiting till the line goes down. I'm not waiting. I'm waiting till like the coast is clear, right?
Right.
Finally, you're checking out your videos, right? You're checking them out, and of course the person checking out the video is gonna notice. Like, of course, so you have to do the look of shame. Like, yeah, what? How did? Well,
yes.
What is that? Is that? Huh?
How'd that get there?
Huh, well, might as well. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Right. And what they would do is they would put those. They wouldn't put in the regular bag. Those they would put in a like a black bag of shame.
A shame bag.
A shame bag as you left the
scarlet letter.
Left the store. Now here's the caveat to that. First of all, I was so late in returning all those videos because they weren't getting them back.
No, of course.
So I was either late or I was just keeping them. And what was happening was my fine, because back then, kids, if you didn't rewind the video, let alone returned it,
oh
you
my
got
God,
fined.
dude. These kids don't have a clue.
My fines were racking up so high because of all the porno that I was stashing and not returning that I would have to go to other locations, family video locations. So the locations.
Now you're traveling. Now you're bringing this ninja adventure to other locations.
So I would. So it just begot like there was one literally a couple blocks away from my house. I had to go like, oh, this is the one up the street. No, this is the one on the other side of town. Oh no, this is the one in Michigan. Like it was.
You're taking a train.
Insane.
The things we did for Titty.
But guess what? All this, at least in my hometown, they've all shut down. So, I ran them out of business.
You ran them out of business. So before, oh my God. So you're watching these oh my God. You're watching these videos and they're sitting there with a hungry baby with a calculator and they're knocking on the door going, we're going to shut the power off. And they're like, if this son of a bitch, if this pervert would just return these videos and pay his fine, we could keep the heat on.
Maybe, but screw you.
You're just home. What you
waka waka.
Yeah, no, that's hilarious, and it is that thing of. Well, I wanted to ask you when you were telling the story because I'm visualizing this. Hilarious too that you were rolling around on the ground, like you would try to like literally slide into the comedy section. So if anybody saw you, you're just like
what? Ooh, I've been here the whole time.
Yeah, holy shit. Was the entrance to that room separated by like beads or a tapestry or a door, or was it just a cutout that you had to kind of like?
It was a cutout, and you kind of dipped around the corner.
Yeah, Tommy K's
video was
no
like beads that made noise and shit like that. It was just a cutout, and you like just made a turn.
You remember when you were a kid and you'd have a sleepover and your mom would be like, we'll go rent movies and you guys could watch movies or whatever. And you'd go and you would be a Somalia. You would take your time and you'd go, well, am I in the mood for a Tom Hanks or a Steve Guttenberg tonight? You know, and you would take your time. When you got into that porn section, dude, you grabbed the first thing that you could find, and you ran
Yeah,
because you were
get
like,
in,
if
get out.
anybody catches me, and then you got home and you're like, what the fuck did I get?
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
like weird. Some of them had like porn got to a point. There's some old ones that had like, these were like people trying to be Scorsese. They had scenes like Debbie Does Dallas. I mean, she like hitchhiked and grifted, and like there was 20 minutes of movie before anything, even a nip came out.
It was a whole thing. It was
Then
like,
there's then
what?
there's ones when we were kids where it was just like boom, right into the action, and you're like, oh, okay, all
Like,
right.
oh, don't even. I mean, by the time internet,
Boy,
forget it. Forget it.
that was, you might as well have just been like, here's heroin, Mike.
Hit, yep, into my veins. Internet hit. Well, we had it before, but by the time I went to college, forget it. And this was these weren't laptops. These were the tower, the
Big old babies,
big
yeah,
monitors,
fat
and
TVs, dude.
and the towers. I'm ruining hard drives and having to take giant towers into computer stores and being like, I don't know what happened. Can you fix this?
That's when you wish it was a scrambler, right? And they'd go, tough shit, kid, buy another one. I was always terrified to download anything because,
Yeah.
God forbid, I like destroyed my family's computer. And I was an older, my siblings are like 7, 10, and 12 years younger than me or something like that. So they're using the computer to like,
Homework.
Elmo's math,
Right.
disc or whatever the hell. And like, I got that AOL, like, this many hours left on the disc or whatever. And I'm like, damn, let me find whatever I can while everybody's at work and at school, like I'm just some like piece of shit that's like, home from college for a weekend. And I'm like, I got to go back to school. Like, that was the main reason why I stayed up at school. I never moved back home because it's like, I didn't want to stop being the person I was when I lived in my apartment. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm smoking weed. I got porn anytime I want. Like I just didn't want to go like, I want to take a break from this amazing life I'm living and go like, whatever, eat pie and shit. Like, no,
Yeah.
just go for a day and be like, oh, I got to go back. I got to work.
I got
And just be a
I got a
degenerate.
whole life going on.
Yeah, I'm taking winter break classes.
Exactly. You're taking
I'm taking anatomy, taking lesbian art.
biology. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my
my
God, dude. And now though, dude, honestly, and I hear about this too. A lot of adult men because we're all, listen, for those of you that are listening, we're comics, we're dented cans, we're out on the road, we're alone. I think sometimes the best thing to do is to, peruse the catalogs that are available for you out there on the web, because you don't then go out. And I'm married. I'm not going
Right.
and like chasing chicks around and shit. No way. And I'm not getting involved in any of that. So it's almost like, yeah, me and the iPad are going to, cuddle and then take a nap. And then that's it. You know what I mean? But I hear some of these dudes are like, I quit porn. It's not good for you. This and that. I've taken breaks, but I'm like, I am never quitting.
You're like, I can't quit you.
No,
I'm not quitting you.
and I think it's a, well, I don't know. I think it's a good thing sometimes,
It's good to have. It's good. I feel like it's good that it's available. But I will say,
Right.
it can be. You can't, like you said, take a break. Some people need to take breaks sometimes because it warps. If it's too much, because sometimes it's like anything. Sometimes people use it as a void filler. Sometimes people use it as a crutch. Sometimes people use it as, an escape or a dopamine hit.
Yeah.
And it keeps them from evolving into, being functioning adults. You know what I mean? Like if you're a guy who's not getting laid, instead of fixing whatever that is about you that's keeping women from wanting to bang you, you just go and dive into porn, and
And
now
just
you
stay
got the
that weird dude.
hottest
Yeah.
chicks in the world doing whatever you want. It's like, well, now you're just a stunted whatever incel,
Right.
and so and
Incel.
so
Hilarious. Yeah.
yeah. So it's it can get to a point, and even if you're not that, like sometimes it just warps what real sex is and warps what real relationship is. So now you're like with this girl, and you know, and it's going down, and you're like, yeah, unless you like wrap both your ankles behind your earlobes and shoot ping pongs from your ass, I don't,
Like I come back home from a weekend of doing shows, and I'm like in bed with my wife, and I'm like, can you punch me in the face? I'm gonna need you to punch me in the face right now. No, I know you're right. You're right, and it's a thing of it's interesting, and I'm okay talking about it because I think it's important to, who cares, right? But to me, it's almost kind of this thing like, do I want to eat? Do I want to go out? Do I want to do this? Nah, I'll just hang with my laptop and then take a nap. It's just kind of like maybe it'll help me go to sleep, that type of thing, But you're right. It does get to there are long weekends and weeks when you're alone on the road, and it's like, again,
what?
ugh, really? Come on, dude, go outside. It's been 2 days. You know, those long weeks at the casino
Yeah.
with
Oh
that high
God.
speed internet. Your room
Oh
happens to be
God.
near the router.
Oh God. Long weeks at the casino, and you're like, even for me to go outside, I have to go through the casino.
Ah,
That's in the middle. No,
awful.
I'll just stay here. I'll just stay here in this
How the
ventilated.
hell did we get from John Amos to weekends of depravity?
Hey man, that's what happens when. That's what happens when. Are we old? Because we we go from one thing to a whole other thing in one conversation. Are
I
we
think we're
old?
old. I think we're old.
I
This
think
was
so,
this
man.
this episode was this was for the men, I think.
I
I,
think
I, I
so.
mean, yeah.
Listen,
I hope we
ladies, I
didn't.
promise we'll have more
Well, I'm sure
balanced
if you want to
episodes.
tell us, was this just for the men? Let's put that out to the
Yeah.
listeners. Ladies, areweoldpodcast@gmail.com. Are you guys as porn
They say they
dependent?
are. I don't know if I believe it, but
I
they
don't believe it.
say they are.
I don't
Which,
believe it.
yeah, I don't either. I think it's
I don't
bullshit.
know a lot about female masturbatory. I don't want to. You're not the person I want to talk to about it.
Likewise, my friend.
Yeah.
Likewise.
Hey,
Let's
you
just
want to?
skate on out of here.
Yeah, I think we should bounce. Hey, Charles,
Yo.
we got fan mail.
Nice.
Yeah, and I wanted to share it with you. This is from a listener named David. Shout out, David.
What up, David?
He said, first of all, I was a major league paper boy and delivered for the New Haven Register when he was a kid. So he's a local. That's a Connecticut boy. I think I might
nice.
know who this David is. TV mom crush as a kid was not a mom, actually. Aunt Becky from Full House.
Not only was Aunt Becky super fine, and I also had a crush on Aunt Becky, but
Yeah.
she is a ride or die because she will do whatever it takes to get her kids into the top schools in this nation.
Yeah, dude, you're right. You're right. She cares. She's a
She
cheater.
cares.
Yeah.
I don't care what it is. She will make sure that her kid is at whatever school she wants her kid to be.
And you know, after an Uncle Jesse and the Rippers show, she was getting down, dude.
Oh my God, her and Uncle, yeah, her and Uncle Jesse was definitely getting it in. They were definitely getting it in.
And Dave Coulier's trying to sleep in the other room, and they're too loud, and he's going, "Cut it out." All right, so he had a conversation with some friends just last night about the posters they had in their room as a kid. The posters on their wall, and wanted to know what our posters were. Enjoying the pod, Dave. Thank you, Dave. The posters on the wall as a kid.
Good question.
Yeah, this is fun. You want to go first?
What era? What era are we
Well,
talking about?
let's think about that because they changed. First of all,
Yeah.
definitely. I think. Well, my first ones that I could remember, Walter Payton.
I was gonna say it's got to be sports, probably.
Yes, Walter Payton, Darryl Strawberry, Mookie Wilson. I was a big Mets and Bears guy as a kid because I was a front running little bastard. Um, but I had mainly football and baseball were my. I think I had a giant Kevin McHale. That was the Boston. Remember him, Boston Celtics,
Yeah.
and it was like one of those measure yourself. It was like milk.
Yes,
Like
I
it came
remember
with.
those.
Yeah, like you hung it up and it was like, oh, stand near him, and I was like nut height for like most of the time I had it. But yeah, Kevin McHale poster or measure yourself thing. Walter Payton, Darryl Strawberry, Mookie Wilson. I had a ton of Mets stuff. Loved the Mets as a kid. Mets garbage can, Mets pillow. I had a bed sheet cover that was a football field. Huddles. Do you remember Huddles? The little
Mm-hmm.
snuggly guys. They were the mascots, but they were stuffed animals. That was my bed sheet bedspread, and I would play football on that with my GI Joe guys. So my room was all sports when I was a little kid, and then it went to skateboarding from there. I ripped down all that stuff and had like Tony Hawk and like Mike McGill. I would buy like Trans World Skateboarding and Thrasher magazine and rip out all the pictures and hang them on the wall. And that was in my
Yeah.
punk middle school days, you know. And then it became all Grateful Dead and stars on the ceilings and glow in the dark like hippie stuff. Literally, like Jerry Garcia was on my wall constantly. And I felt weird having chicks on my wall because of my
At home.
mom.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was weird. I didn't want to have like the poster you won at the fair that was like, Samantha Fox laying on a Corvette. Like I felt a little weird because my mom's in there making my bed and stuff.
Right.
I don't know. But yeah, it was sports, then skateboarding, then basically psychedelic shit.
Yeah, Chicks on the Wall for me didn't come till college. Like my dorm room was covered with like, Chicks on the Wall. But the at home growing up, yeah, definitely sports. Michael Jordan. I was a huge Michael Jordan Bulls fan, Chicago Bulls. So you remember the poster with the like I had the posters and then I had the calendars that also had like posters of him. So it was like just different posters of him doing different dunks and shit
Yes.
like that all over my living room and I mean bedroom. And then depending on, I think it's around the same era, like Ninja Turtles, like the movie posters.
Yeah, oh yeah, you're right. I had a Goonies one.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I had
Ninja
Ninja
Turtles.
Turtles 2. I remember Ninja Turtles 2, Secret of the Ooze poster, having that, and maybe even like a Ghostbuster, Batman, Tim Burton.
Maybe Ghostbusters I had too. Yeah.
Yeah, like I was a huge movie, whatever movie was out that I was like super into, I usually had a poster
Yeah.
up on my wall about it.
You
Yeah,
know,
between that and basketball.
well, you know what I was just thinking about when you said the Jordan one? I think I had the Jordan one that was that side shot of him doing like the like from
Yeah.
the foul line
Yes.
and the crowds behind him and it's just like that iconic shot.
Yeah.
That I had too, now that I think about it.
Yeah, there were a bunch of them. Like he had so many
So
many of those iconic like poster shots. It's
What a
crazy.
weird life to be that like good at something and just know like every kid has you on their wall and they're pretending to be you. Like little kids playing wiffle ball going like, I'm Derek Jeter, I'm A-Rod, I'm whoever, they're playing
Right.
hoops. They're going, I'm Jordan. No, I'm Jordan. What a
Crazy.
weird thing to think about.
Crazy. I do wonder like what that must have been like. I mean, maybe it was just like, maybe it was just normal or whatever, but like that's every kid all over the world.
They had songs. I want to be like Mike.
I want to be like Mike. Literally. I want to be like Mike.
I want to be like Mike. Like Mike. If I could be like Mike.
Mike.
Oh,
Yeah.
be like Mike. Yeah, dude. I still sing it to myself in the mirror every day. I go, you are Mike.
It's you. No, the other
It's
Mike.
you.
I want to be like the other Mike.
So then now was that your whole childhood? Did you just have your posters on your wall like your whole
Yeah, pretty
life?
much. I don't. Yeah, pretty much. It was pretty much the same because the thing was like it's not like you said. I mean, it's not like girls were coming into my bedroom. You know what I mean?
Right. Little
So
kid.
it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was just like my guy friends over, and we all liked the same shit anyway. So
Yeah.
it pretty much stayed the same for most of even my teenage years. And I was also lazy, and also I wasn't like in the frame of like I'm gonna redecorate. Like I didn't, it was my room. Like
See, you're lucky. I had to redecorate because I moved a million times. So
ah
I had to take posters down. Nothing was worse, dude, than like right before a move, trying to pull a poster that you taped to the
yeah
wall down
yeah
and it rips the corner. And I'm like, all right, well, bye, Goonies poster. That was fun.
yeah.
And then I'm on to the next thing. So it was almost kind of like I was forced to like redecorate. And there were some houses where like I didn't even put posters up. I was just like, fuck it.
Okay,
I'm
you
sick
knew,
of
yeah.
this. Yeah, I was just like plain white walls, dude. Like, ugh. But yeah, dude, those are fun to go back and think about. Do you have
Yeah.
anything now that like did you keep any of your old like posters or are they still up at your folks' house or anything?
No, once I moved out, it's my dad's office now. Like the once my old room is an office now, and so like most of my stuff is either still in that closet, so there might be still some like a Playboy or two in that closet and some
Oh,
shoebox somewhere. But
for the
other than
Patreon, maybe you should seek that
yeah,
out.
I'll go sniffing around in there and see what's in there. I'm sure there's like baseball cards, basketball cards, and stuff still in there.
Nice.
Um, But yeah, a lot of that stuff either went to the basement, and then by the time once it goes to the basement, it's kind of like, I mean, not to be, never mind, I won't be too morbid. But once it goes to the basement is kind of like the final stop before it ends up in the trash somewhere at some point when things start to get cleared out, or
Yep.
whatever the case.
Yep.
So a lot of that stuff is some stuff that may still be, left behind, but a lot of it is probably gone by now, which
Dude,
sucks too because there's so many like things now that you go, oh, that would be worth money now.
for the
McDonald's
podcast,
toys and stuff. Yeah.
you should go through and see what you have because I have a bin. My folks, my mom just dropped me off a bin, like a big like storage bin of all my old stuff, and I think it could be fun if like maybe once a week we each pull something out and like go through it, like just random, not look at it, but just pull it out and be like, oh shit, and like
Yeah.
go through old memory bank,
Let's do it.
That could be fun. That could be like a cool like thing for Patreon. Like, let's go through my memories.
Oh, this is an old J.C. Penney catalog that I used to take and go rip out the bra and panty section.
Yeah. Let's see how much they were charging for a Hot Wheels then.
Oh God. Oh man.
Yeah, go through old prices and shit, dude.
Yeah.
That'd be
Yeah.
great. Thank you for the question, Dave. Much appreciated.
Yeah, man.
And for anybody else who would like to, send us what you guys have questions about, send us things you'd like for us to cover. areweoldpodcast@gmail.com or in the comments on Instagram. That's where we are kind of quite a bit. And you can follow us at Are We Old, at Are We Old Podcast, and patreon.com/Are We Old if you want to get full access to video ad-free a day before it drops. And we're gonna
bonus
be
material.
and bonus
Because
material.
we're going to be dropping some extra episodes and extra all kinds of stuff on Patreon. So get on that Patreon now while the getting's good.
And like and comment and share and all the free things that take you a minute. Believe it, guys, over here, it really means the world to us. So if you're having fun, just tell your thumb, beep, boop, bop, boop, beep. Thank you. We really appreciate it.
We'll
We'll
Thanks,
catch
man.
you on the flip.
Yeah, man. Peace.